All right, and we are live. Welcome to another live stream. Yeah, I just want to come on here and talk about a few things. Yeah, man, 2026 so far has been a crazy year with all the stuff going on. It's just been crazy. You know, it's like a lot of people have this type of energy. They just want to give up on life. That's all I see on social media. People, they want to give up. All this doom and gloom stuff. And I know, a lot of people that follow the Bible, they believe in God. And religious people out there, they see we in the end times. But that doesn't mean to carry yourself with all doom and gloom all the time. You still got to look for something that's positive. And unfortunately, we live in a society and world that if you're trying to share anything that's positive, is get looked down on. It's like people hate positivity because they so used to seeing negativity. They so used to seeing negativity. And 2026 has been a crazy year as of lately. I mean, with the incident that happened in Shreveport, Louisiana, you know, once upon a time, man, the average black man wouldn't do stuff like that. I don't know what's up with these new age brothers, man. That was taboo. Like everything that was considered taboo in the so-called black community is being played out like it's nothing these days. Things that our people did back in the days that they were shamed for or considered taboo, they carrying out like it's nothing. Hey Naomi, how's it going? But yeah, it's just been crazy, this year. I mean, a lot of people not happy on social media. All these people, they faking happiness. You got a lot of these influencers, they depressed. They got, yeah, it may seem like they living a dream life. They got the cars, they got the Airbnbs, they got the houses, but they don't own none of that. They don't own none of that. I know people like to talk about the so-called rat race, like in the 9 to 5 jobs. Social media is a digital rat race. Social media is a digital rat race. What I mean by that, just look what's going on YouTube. These content creators that's doing it for for the money. Once they get their channels monetized, it become a digital rat race. A lot of people, they trying to look for a quick fix to make easy money on social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, through the reels, shorts, or videos, whatever. Yeah, it's not easy, and plus it's oversaturated. Everybody want to make a quick dollar off of social media now. It's too saturated, and that's why it's difficult, for people to make money on social media. It's saturated. Everybody want to do content. And ain't nothing wrong expressing yourself on this platform, but most people, they doing it for money because they trying to look for the next come up. They trying to get a quick come up in life. They want to be famous. And I never thought for the fact of me that streamers will be making lots of money. You got these cornball streamers. If they wasn't successful like they was, they would be nobodies. They would be average. These streamers making more money than professional athletes. You got some streamers out there making more money than a CEO of a company. Real talk. Some of these streamers, I be like, what do y'all contribute to society? Y'all just sit on y'all behinds and talk to people, make jokes. Y'all not doing nothing productive. Y'all just sitting behind a computer screen, sitting at a desk, got a fancy setup. Yeah, y'all might show yourself streaming out in public, but y'all not contributing nothing to society. Y'all don't hold no weight like something that's important, like a doctor, lawyers, a brain surgeon, professions that bring impact in society. Social media influence, to me, a social media influencers and nothing but a attention whore, whether it's a man or a woman. That's all a social media influencer is. They ain't nothing but a attention seeker. They just want validation. They not important for society. Who are you influencing? What you trying to influence? You just want attention. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. As a social media influencer, you just want attention. You're an attention whore. You know, you're nobody important. You think you're important. You got these influencers thinking they celebrities. You're not signing your name in Hollywood on a Walk of Fame, and don't realize them stars in Hollywood. You got to sell your soul to get up your names on that cemented. You know, yeah. All these influencers, I'm telling you. You know, because I was on Instagram, I was just scrolling Instagram, and allegedly I Show Speed, you know, he went to WrestleMania. You know, he getting all these promotions, and now they say he trying to get his own anime. He working on his own anime. And I put in the comment section, I be like, yeah, because they had another. I guess this was a young guy, probably a youngster. And I was telling the youngster, I was like, selling your soul comes with many perks until Satan comes to collect, and that is true. I Show Speed, man, all these influencers, just like they had that incident with Dr. Disrespect. He was a streamer. He had caught some controversy, and that was humiliation ritual. That was nothing but a humiliation ritual. You know, that's all that was. Yeah, I never thought for the life of me I'd see these streamers making millions. I'm talking about making more money than some CEOs of these companies. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, this year's just been crazy, man. That's all you see is negative content. It's like something in the air, you know. It's like people just getting tired. They want to give up. You know, I see a lot of content creators that's got big channels. They want to give up. You know, they want to give up. You know, they just want to check out in life. You know, and when I mean by checking out, that doesn't mean, you know, unaliving yourself. It just mean they just want to give up on everything because they feel like they're not getting anywhere. You know, no matter how much they put out, how much hard they work, it's like they're not getting rewarded. And then you got the ones who got the success and they feel unfulfilled. They got the millions, they got the sports cars, the supercars and all that, the nice houses. Yeah, shout out to you too, Naomi. You shot me out on your channel. All right, appreciate it. But anyway, yeah, they unfulfilled. All this materialistic stuff, man. You could have all this materialistic stuff and still feel that you're hollow. And that's a lot of people. They hollow. They hollow. And that's why I mean this social media stuff is fake. It is. Because I just had 11 people up in here and I only got one like. Let's just show you how fake people is. You know, I had 11 people up in this stream and I only got one like. Bunch of fake people, man. That's why you can't take this social media stuff seriously, man. Because people ain't people no more. Like, I not stand on what I say. A lot of people are soulless NPCs. They got no souls. They're not humans. You know, they just an entity inhabiting a meat suit. They tried to tell us that in the movie. Like, for example, the Men in Black movie. Y'all remember the first Men in Black movie with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones? The first Men in Black. When they was doing an autopsy on the alien, and when they opened up that man, they found that little tiny alien in there. You know, I'm fake, but you deleting comments. Mr. Ellison, I don't know who you is, but you deleting comments. Mr. Ellison, I don't know who's this. You know. Yeah, but what I was saying, yeah, you know, a lot of people, you know, they entities in human suits. They're not real people. They NPCs. Yep. Well, I don't know who Mr. Edison. I don't know if you're a troll, but I'm gonna put you in timeout. I'm gonna put you in time. I'm gonna give you a day to think about your before. I'm gonna give you about 30 minutes to think about what you said. So I put you in timeout, Mr. I don't know who's this, Mr. Edison. I just put him in timeout. You know, how I'm deleting comments. You know, you is fake. You ain't even hit me like you. This is your first time here, and you're coming with some buffoonery. So you in timeout. I put you in timeout. He came to your channel and did the same thing. Yeah, I don't know who this person is, but yeah, he in timeout. Must be a troll. And I stand on what I say about these trolls. A lot of men troll because women don't troll like that. The only time a woman gonna troll, that's why I say I don't know what's up with these new age black men, these so-called black males. I ain't gonna call them men, they males. You know, I don't know what's up with these new age males, man, because scientists are right, man. That's a low ranking testosterone because men ain't gonna go troll another man's channel like that. You know, all because I'm expressing myself and saying that a lot of people is fake. It's the truth. Trolls can't handle the truth. You know, so that's how you deal with them. You got to put them in timeout and let them think about their actions. And if they come back with the buffoonery, you remove them. You block them. You remove them. You know, how you gonna come with that disrespect? You ain't gonna even like the video. You know, now I understand what Ringo deal with, and he been on YouTube since 2006. Ringo reactions. You know, and I'm sure a lot of content creators deal with that. Whether you're a content creator or not, you're gonna deal with trolls. It don't matter if you're a full-time content creator, a part-time YouTuber, or amateur YouTuber. You're gonna deal with trolls. Yep. I ain't delete your comments. You coming with lies, Mr. Ellison. He coming with lies. Now I know YouTube be deleting comments sometimes of your posts because YouTube got that strong censorship. Don't come put that on me. That could have been YouTube. You probably was saying all kind of derogatory stuff, and YouTube was deleting it. But anyway, like I said, man, it's a lot of fake people. You know, that's why I say it's something in the air. 2026, man, it's just a crazy year. It's a crazy year. What's up, Yaquaba? What it do? Yup. I don't got time to be playing with these trolls, man. You know, what's up with a grown man trolling another channel like that? That's pathetic. You got nothing better to do. I tell you, man, the nerve of some of these buffoons. It's good to see you, brother Yaquaba. Hope all is well with you. But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I went live yesterday. I was talking about what went down in Shreveport, Louisiana, man. The brother unaliving his 8 children and shot his baby mama and his wife and all that. You know, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like I say, brothers back in the day, brothers would rarely do stuff like that. Now we know that they beat their woman, but you know, if they was not in most cases, they'll probably do domestic violence, but not take it that far, harming children. You know, it's like I say, man, it's something in the air, just hanging in on top. Yeah, that's all we could do, man. Because like I was saying, a lot of people, man, in society, man, they feeling hopeless. It don't matter. From all walks of life. This is just not a black people thing. A lot of white people feeling the same way too. Asian people, you know, because like I keep my ears to the YouTube world. I see content creators from all walks of life talking about what they got to deal with in life. And they, from different many races and nationalities and walks of life. Because we all going through it, man. This system don't care about what nationality you is, man. They just want to feed off your energy. The powers that be, these entities. You know, they want to keep us divided. They want to keep us divided by religion, race, politics. Politics, that's what I call it. It ain't nothing but a damn trick show anyway, politics. You know, you got the left, the right. Don't realize they both belong to the same 30 bird. You know, they both on the same side. They just want to have the people go against each other. because they profit off of negativity. Yep. And all this crazy stuff happening in 2026, and we're not even in summer yet. We like in the middle of April right now. We're in the middle of April. And we're not even in summer. So you could already know it's going to be a long, hot summer in certain areas. That's why I try my best to mind my business. That's all you could do is stay to yourself, especially on social media and in real time. You know, I mean, this social media stuff is fake, man. It's staying, like I tell people, you're going to be a big YouTuber. Like if your channel getting bigger and bigger, the best thing to do is to stay in your lane. You know, stay in your lane. That's the best thing to do. Stay in your lane. Because look what Rollo going through, a content creator. He was going off, man. I mean, you just can't collaborate with other content creators like that, because once you fall out with other content creators, they'll destroy your channel, you know, and that's what's going on with, I guess, with Ringo and Brainwaves now, you know. But it's gonna backfire on Brainwaves though. It's gonna backfire on him. But yeah, YouTube, they messing. I had just 9 people up in here, and now I got 3 people. That's YouTube be with the shenanigans, I tell you. Either it be YouTube or just be nosy people that just want to be monitor spirits and all that. Monitor spirits, you know, gang stalkers, monitor spirits, nosy people is all the same thing. But yeah. But yeah, it's a Ringo worse though. Bingo, Bigo. Who you talking about? Who's Bigo? Who you meant? Bigo. Bigo worse though. You meant Ringo? I don't know. I never heard of a content creator called Bigo. Oh, it's an app. All the hood be in. Okay. Oh, that's something. It's something like Clubhouse. You talking about Clubhouse? Man, I used to have a club. I used to be on Clubhouse. I don't miss Clubhouse. Clubhouse is the most toxic. Y'all want to talk about toxicity? Clubhouse is where it's at. That's where Whack 100 be at. He got a whole room up in there, and it's nothing but disrespect. And I mean, I can't be around that type of energy. That's why I say, man, some of these Negroes, they need to be off of social media. You know, like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson said it the best, man. Mike Tyson said it the best. Social media made it comfortable for people to disrespect other people without any repercussions. You know, it's crazy. Okay, say it's worse. Bigo like a club where Negroes fight all day and night. Oh man, I can't be around all that. See, that's what they want. That's what the powers that be that want. They harvesting off that energy. If our people wake the hell up and realize, you know, the entities, the ungodly entities, they harvest off of that energy. That's how they feed. The energy vampires. They feed off of that negative energy. They like the shadow dragons in Dragon Ball GT. Like the last arc of Dragon Ball GT, the Goku and them had to fight the shadow dragons. You know, the shadow dragons, they was created from all the negative energy from the Dragon Ball wishes. Yeah, if you watch Dragon Ball GT, you know, you had like Omega Shenron. He was like the leader of the shadow dragons. You know, you had Nova Shenron and Ice Shenron, you know, and many others. You know, it was 7 of them. And it's kind of deep, bro. But yeah, Clubhouse, I don't miss Clubhouse though. I don't miss that. You know, I don't miss Clubhouse. You know, I try to stay off. I try to have at least, just like I don't miss Facebook. I deactivated Facebook. I think I just got Instagram and I'm mainly YouTube. I don't even have an X account. Like Twitter, I don't have a Twitter. Never did have a Twitter account. That's like when it comes to social media, I never had a Twitter account. Never did. I thought about having me an X account, but I say, nah, man, they let everything slide on there. I don't want to get in back and forth with these people, like, because you just wish you could put your hands on them once they disrespect but they figure, and then I heard on Twitter, when you post a comment or post something, people know where you're posting it from, your location. So I don't got time for that crap. I think the less social media accounts you have, the better. YouTube more laid back than all of them though. But the most stricter one, ain't that something? YouTube is the most laid back, but it's most stricter. It's most stricter. They got too many bullshit rules that don't make any sense. And they only use them rules to any content creators they want. They've been rules for certain content creators. Yeah, it's still drama. Yeah, YouTube always had drama. YouTube always did have drama, even back in the old YouTube era. Ask Ringo, he'll tell you. Ask Ringo TV, he'll tell you. It was way worse back then because, Ringo, he been on there since 2006, and he been through some wars with content creators. And it was way brutal back then. That was way before they had strikes and monetize and all that. Yeah, it was way worse back then. But yeah, it still got drama on YouTube. All social media platforms have drama. Don't get it twisted. They all have drama. And then all sectors got drama. It don't matter if it's the Israelite sector, the black sector, like they like to call it the 30 sector, the video game sector. I'm telling you, all sectors of YouTube got drama. All sectors. Especially in the political sector, the religious sector, the Christian sector, the Muslim, it doesn't matter. All sectors of YouTube gonna have dramas, beef, content creators going back and forth. Yep, you can't escape from it. You can't escape from it. Drama, drama, drama everywhere on these YouTube streets, unfortunately. But yeah, man, a lot of these influencers. I like Tubi. At least you get to pick what you want to see. Yeah, the Tubi app. Yeah, I think that's like one of the few free movie apps out there. You got ads on there. They used to have Freevee, but they got rid of Freevee because that was part of Amazon. Them Amazon devils got rid of Freevee and decided to have add everything to Prime Video. And that's another thing, man. Everything is a subscription these days. That's what's irritating people too. A lot of people fed up with that too. Everything has a subscription. If you want to watch a certain type of movie, you got to get a subscription to this app. I was watching the Flintstones the other night. Yeah, maybe that's what I need to start doing, watching some old cartoons, on Tubi or some old classic cartoons from the 80s, yeah, maybe, or see if I can find me Transformers, the old school Transformers, because I was born in 1984. And I'm sure used to watch, even though I was like in 1988, I was 4 years old. So I'll probably watch a few of them cartoons back then, when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, because my mama used to buy me Transformers when I was a child. Like when I was like 4, 5, and 6, she used to buy me and my uncle, I have an uncle, he about a few years older than me. He had all them 80s action figures from the 80s, like He-Man, Ninja Turtles, Transformers. He had all that. He had He-Man and Battle Cat. He had all them Thundercats. He had all them old school action figures. Yep. Yeah, because you see them 80s cartoons, that was part of Gen X, even though Gen X and millennials, but mainly Gen X. Because you see, for us millennials growing up in the 90s, our big thing was like Power Rangers, Morphin Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, and Doug, Rugrats. We had the Nickelodeon. We had, what else we had? Nick at Night, Snick, all that, the Jetsons. Yeah. DuckTales. Yep, we had that in the 90s too. DuckTales. You know, like I said, cartoons was off the chain back in the 90s. I don't know. Like if you turn to Cartoon Network, I don't, man, all that new age stuff they playing on Cartoon Network, I don't even watch that. You know. And then in middle school, that's when I got into anime. 8th grade, 9th grade, that was my beginning stages into the anime genre. You know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, fast forward to 2026, man, things just feel bland and out of whack. You know, it does. It feel bland and out of whack. And that's why you got a lot of people saying nothing feel the same no more on social media. Remember the Arena Karate Show on Saturday back then and Ghostbusters? Yeah, I remember Ghostbusters. Yeah. Yep, that was what we had too back then. Ghostbusters. The cartoon Ghostbusters. Yep. And they had the Ghostbusters movies, the old school, the classic Ghostbusters movies, you know, the original movies. hmm Yeah, Beetlejuice. They had a cartoon. I remember that one. The Beetlejuice cartoon. Yeah, we used to watch that one too. Now I never seen a Beetlejuice sequel. You know, not original Beetlejuice. I used to watch that a lot as a child. But the sequel that released, like they made a sequel of Beetlejuice a few years ago. I think like 2, 3 years ago, they made a Beetlejuice sequel. But you see, that's what I don't like about certain movies. Y'all gonna wait a decade or two to make a sequel when y'all could have been made a sequel that when it was popular back then. I can't stand when some movies do that crap. Same if they were Coming to America. Y'all could have been made a Coming to America sequel. Y'all had to wait like 10, 20 years later, something like that, when the characters get all old and stuff. And that's what's going on with Friday. It's, you know, allegedly they supposed to be working on the final Friday, and allegedly it's going the main character is gonna be Craig and Smokey's sons. But Chris Tucker wanna be a damn prick, man. Chris Tucker, man, just play Smokey for one last time. Stop being a prick, man. Stop being a BAN. Yeah, I'm just gonna say what it, I'm gonna call it out. You're being a BAN, man. You know a lot of fans want to see Smokey again. They was upset when you wasn't in the second Friday, the Friday after next. You know, next Friday, the Friday, you know. Yeah, we want Smokey. Even though you claim to be religious, you're a Christian, you don't want to smoke weed. It's gonna be fake weed. You don't have to smoke no real weed. Tales from the Crypt was my uncle favorite show. Everybody laughed when he laughed. Oh yeah, the Crypt Keeper. Yeah, and he had that laugh. Yeah, he do that jump scare. Like remember on the beginning credits of Tales from the Crypt, how they be how the camera be panning all over the haunted house, and out of nowhere you just hear the Crypt Keeper come out of nowhere, do a jump scare and start laughing. He do that jump stare laugh and start laughing. He'd be like, Tales from the Crypt. Yep. Oh yeah, I bet you that creeped a lot of people out too, the Crypt Keeper. That little animated skeleton creature. Yep. Yep. On Saturday nights, you used to have the horror shows come on Saturday nights. Yep, like you had Tales from the Crypt, you had the Monsters. I think that's what it was called. It was like the beginning credits was like these monster children, and it was like these two little girls. They was monsters, like, and they be like, and their daddy was a monster. The whole family was monster, and they be like, "Daddy, can you read us a bedtime story?" And the daddy would pull out a big book, and then that would be the episode about. I forgot. I think it was called the Monsters. I forgot what it was. It was, it was this Saturday night horror show because it used to come on the same block with Tales from the Crypt, and then they had another horror show called Friday the 13th. Not Jason, but it was called I think Friday the 13th, I think. Yeah, they used to have all them horror shows back then. I mean, like I say, back in the 90s, you was booked. When it comes to television, you was booked. You had something to watch 7 days out the week. I'm telling you, had something to watch every day out the week in the 90s. You was never bored watching TV back in the 90s. And that's what make us millennials appreciate the 90s even more. Because we didn't have all these apps. We didn't have the streaming bullshit. We didn't have the apps. If we miss an episode of something, we were screwed. We had to hope and pray they rerun that entire season. That's what made us appreciate things even more as millennials, man. Like TV shows, and we are the last generation that had exposure to physical media. What I mean by physical media, physical books, DVDs, VHS tapes, DVDs, Blu-rays, CDs, cassette. Man, Gen Z don't know what a cassette is. They probably look at a cassette and be like, man, this is some outdated stuff. Yeah, Tales from the Dark Side and Rosen TV show would come on. Yup. And you had Creep Show too, I think was another one. I think. No, and you had the Twilight Zone. And I remember sometime on Friday and Saturday nights, TNT. You remember the channel TNT? They used to have the horror movie nights. Like they'll play like a marathon of horror movies on Friday nights or Saturday nights. Yep. Like I said, man, the 90s television was lit. Hands down. You can't get no better than the 90s television series back then. Even Sunday nights. Like on CBS, you had the good movies used to come on like for 2 hours. Sometime CBS would play them mini series. It'd be like a movie that they play for 2 nights. The first half will play that Sunday night. And I think they'll play the second part Monday night or Tuesday night. Man, like I say, TV was lit back in the day, bro. TV was lit. Now we got these apps. I find that we got easy access to all our favorite shows. And it's like most people, it's like they don't, I want to put it. It's like they don't appreciate it like we did back then because it's easy access. Everything is easy access. We live in a society that nobody want to go out and shop and get their own groceries. I still rather go to the grocery store and get my own groceries. Go for that ride, to go get my own groceries. Some people don't even do that. They'd rather go online, get everything online delivered to you. Now, I'm not against online shopping because certain items you might have to buy online, I'm big for shopping online. Don't get it twisted. I am for shopping online. But when I'm talking about food like groceries, yeah, go to the grocery store. But certain items, if you want to buy certain things, you can buy things online because I'm not against it. But like for groceries, just go to the grocery store if you got transportation, But to each his own, My daddy used to hog the TV when football came on Monday night. Oh yeah, Monday Night Football. Yep. Monday Night Football. That's why I say shout out to all the men out there that got a man cave. All the men that got man caves. Whether they single or they married, especially the married men. Like for married men out there, man, if you got a man cave, count your blessing. That's a blessing. I know some married men, they get put in the doghouse, man. If I was married and had a house, and a family, my wife want to put me in the doghouse, I'll be like, okay, babe, I'm going in my man cave. Oh yeah, if I had me a man cave, I have that thing looking, man, it'll be something like you see these content creators. I have the game room up in there. I have it nice and set up. Have the display posters, Man, I have me a futon, a sleeper sofa up in there. I could sleep in my man cave. What's the ultimate man cave? A man shade. Like that's like the ultimate. Like I know they got some people. If you got the money, have you like a shade, a custom built man cave shade. Yep. And I'm sure some men got that out there. I bet you that's the hangout spot. They go watch the football games over there. But you just don't want to invite anybody in your space, though, because you never know. One of them, they could be low key plotting on you, hating on you, and all that. But yeah, if you got a man cave, man, count your blessings, you know. And I know some women out there, they be having a she shade, what they call it, a she shade, something like that. Yeah, they have a she shade, but multiple have a man cave, you know. Mm-hmm. Be like, oh, you going in the doghouse? That's okay. I'm going in the man cave. Next thing you know, your wife be coming pull you out that man cave because you'll be playing the PS5. You'll be lost in the game. You forgot about being in the doghouse, or you're watching a favorite movie or a favorite TV show or something, you know, or doing your hobbies. Next thing you know, your wife bribing you to come out the man cave, come bribe you with a nice plate of food. I'm just speaking in general, you know, for some men that have a man cave, you know. But yeah, I think every man should have a man cave. That's just my opinion, you know, especially if they married, you know. Yep, that's what they do. She gonna come in there, Occupant. Exactly. They gonna barge up in there because they gonna be like, oh, you're spending more time in your man cave than you're spending time with me. They gonna get jealous of the dog. I would be like, well, you put me in the doghouse. Shit, now you coming. You said I was in the doghouse. Shit, you said I was in the doghouse. And I'm following instructions. You told me I'm in a doghouse, so I'm in a doghouse, and now I'm having a good time in the man cave. And you come and relieve, you come and get me out of you come and get me out of jail. Let me stop. But yeah, back to what I was talking about. But the television, man, the 90s was off the chain, man. The music, I mean, the music was positive, even though you had some negative music too back in the 90s, but like the R&B songs, they was about falling in love. It wasn't none of this toxic relationship bullshit, you know, this cheating on, you know. Have you heard anything from Sister Privacy? Nah. Like I said, I don't really be doing content. Like, I don't know if she's still around. I hope all is well with her, because like I said, I don't really be doing content as much like I used to. Maybe I might get back into the groove of doing content, but man, this YouTube stuff is just being funny, you know, as of lately. You know, it's a lot of, it drains you sometimes. But anyway, yeah, I never heard from Privacy. It's been months. Because like I said, it's been months since I've been doing content, you know. It's been months, you know. No, but I never heard anything from Privacy. Like I said, I hope all is well with her. Because I know that's just how the internet works, man. You got people come to your platform, people come and go. That's how social media goes. That's how life works. People come and go. It's human nature. You know, it's human nature. But yeah, I hope all is well. Like I said, I hope all is well with everybody, man. Whether they used to come to my channel or not, I hope all is well with everybody. And that's real talk. You know, that's real talk, man, because I know we all going through that at the end of the day. It don't matter what your fate is. Don't matter if you're Israelite, Christian, Muslim, atheist. I don't give a damn. We all going through this shit. Especially if you paying bills. We all paying bills. It don't matter what your belief system is. Your ass still paying bills in this society. You still got to pay taxes. You know, you can't escape from the taxes. Just do your own thing. I'll create the atmosphere you want, fam. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna be where I'm just gonna be all over, you know, well rounded, you know, just be like the tornado, be like the whirlwind, you know, be like the griffin, you know, just fly to soar heights. You know, when a griffin flies wings, it creates storms and create tornadoes and thunder. You know, they majestic creatures. You know, the Griffin, the mythical creature, the Griffin. Always was fascinated with Griffins. Always was fascinated with them. You know, if I was to get tattoos, I definitely have a tattoo of a Griffin. But according to Torah, we're not supposed to get tattoos according to Torah, and I'm standing on the Torah. You know, because tattoos carry certain type of energy, and certain tattoos you don't want to get, because if you go to certain countries, it might offend people in that country and you get in a lot of trouble. Yeah, but yeah, so I just wear jewelry. I don't have no tattoos, and those that got tattoos, you know, don't get any more. Repent, don't get any more. But I just wear jewelry. I just get me a Griffin chain. I saw a website, they sell some Griffin chains, dope ass Griffin chains. I'm gonna save me up some money, I'm gonna give me a Griffin chain. You know. Yep. I saw I watched the video on Instagram about how our ancestors was falconeers. You know, the Moors, the melanated Moors and all that. They used to like raise owls and hawks. Now of course you're gonna have the WS supremacists out there say, oh, that's fake history. That's pseudo history. No, man, I think our people had the ability to communicate with the beasts, man. I think our ancestors was beast masters, like in the fantasy novels and RPG games. You know, you have the rangers that always got an animal companion, like a forest ranger. What I mean by I'm you know, a forest ranger, like with the bow and arrow. I'm talking about like in D&D. You know, you had the rangers, the druids and all that could communicate with nature and the animals and all that. Yeah, our ancestors did all that shit, man. Our ancestors could have do all that fantastical shit, you know. But some of them they dabbled into it too much, and they forgot about the Most High, and that's what caused them to go under. You know, they started dabbling into all that mystical stuff, and they went mad, and they forgot all about the teaching of the Most High, and that's why we in the predicament we in now. You know. Or the new King Kong movie. They coming out with a new King Kong movie. I'm gonna have to check that out. And that's another thing, because somebody asked me the other day if I was going to see the new Michael Jackson movie. I was like, it been years since I went to the movies, Yaquaba. It been years. And like I was saying, the theaters in our city, they closed it down. They closed it on. And I don't want to drive all the way to Lafayette just to go to the movies. I could if I want, but it's just like I don't have it in me no more. You know, I don't have it in me no more to go to the movies. I'm just being real. You know, I could go. What's the point of me going to a movie, being around all these people, being crowded up in there, when I know 2 weeks from now it's gonna be on a streaming app? It's like the movie's not even fun no more. Like I said, even a mall. Like when I went and get my prescription eyeglasses from Lens Crafters, I went to the Acadiana Mall in Lafayette. The mall is not even the same no more, Yaquaba. I felt dead energy up in that mall. It was like a ghost town. And like one section, I kid you not, one section of the mall was all vacant. They had no stores. It was just empty stores. I was like, man, it's like I'm in a ghost mall or something. Like a ghost town or something, bro. I'm telling you, man, things ain't like how they used to be. That's how you know, man, things just going down and down, man. We definitely in the end times. I don't care what people say. We definitely got to be in the end times, man. Because when you got brothers crashing out, killing their children like that, man, doing ungodly things like that, yeah, we in the end times, man. You know, you got sisters getting taken out by these Gentiles who thought they was going to be their knight and shine, their white knight and shining armor. Asking Janae, she thought she was going to have that soft life she wanted. And that all boils down to the old saying, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you, we had people filing for bankrupt. Yeah, man, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of social media influencers about to soon file for bankrupt. A lot of social media influencers, man, they gonna file for bankrupt. They going for broke. And they don't got it like they think they got it. That's all the illusion. Yeah, just because you see on social media, they just show the best parts. It's like a highlight reel. It's fake happiness. It's fake happiness. The most happiest people, they don't be on social media. The most happiest people in the world, they might maybe post maybe once a year on social media, or maybe once every 6 years. You never know. Or rarely post at all. That's the most happiest people. But when you got people got to post every day for attention, I mean, take selfie after selfie after selfie, man, they got mental issues. Something wrong with them. I used to see a lot of people do that on Facebook. I started unfollowing them. I still had them as friends, but I just unfollowed their posts because I was getting annoyed with the narcissistic behavior. They had they had some brothers and sisters doing that, on Facebook. I said, I got tired of this shit. I said, I'm gonna just unfollow. I'm gonna still keep them as a friend request, even though they probably unfollow me too. That's why I say this. That's why I call it fake book, man. It's fake book, you know. And if you keep doom scrolling on Facebook, it's gonna mess with your mental health. What's good, Sean Breezy? Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Sean Breezy in the building. But yeah, man, that's why I had to deactivate Facebook. I think I've been off of Facebook, aka Facebook, for at least 2 years by now. I think it had to be over 2 years, because I think I deactivated my Facebook in, let me see, might be 3 years for the most high. It might be going on 3 years, because I think it probably was 2024. I think I finally deactivated my Facebook. Never, I didn't delete it. I deactivated it. Just I deactivated. There's a difference between deleting and deactivating. But I didn't been. Now I still got my Messenger. I still got Facebook Messenger, but people rarely message me on there. I still got Messenger. But yeah. But what I was saying, yeah, I don't miss it, man, and I'm sure they got nothing but AI stuff on there. It's just like Instagram got the AI stuff. That's taking over the internet, man. As much as people complain about the AI revolution, it's not going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's here to stay. AI, and like I say, by 2030, AI gonna be way advanced. It's gonna be on a whole different level by now. In the year 2030, most high willing, it's gonna be on a whole different level. Just watch, cause it keep getting good and good. Cause you could ask Google Gemini to make a song for you. It's not gonna be a full song, like, cause I experimented with it. I experimented with it last night. I asked Google Gemini to make me a 90s style hip hop song about a Wood Elf Ranger, and it was called, and the song ended up calling yeah, it was 30 seconds. I was like, man, I wish it could have been 3 minutes long, but yeah, that's what a lot of content creators doing. You tried to call me on Facebook one day. I know you reached out to me on Instagram a few times. Yeah, I know you reached out to me on Instagram a few times. Cause I think you're following me on Instagram. Yeah, I think you're following me on Instagram. Well, what I want to say, yeah. And I think a lot of content creators, they're gonna start using AI and music, and like I say, if they want to go that route, more power to them. I ain't against it, but that's the future, man. That's the future. Everybody gonna be using it. Even the big channels using AI for they use AI for their thumbnails. Gas prices up. We in war. Damn, what's next for real? What's next? But like the word says, man, he that endures to the end shall be saved. Like it says in the book of Matthew, man, he that endures to the end shall be saved, And it's all been prophesied in the book of Matthew chapter 24. Man, Yahshua HaMashiach, man, Jesus Christ. The Holy Messiah been prophesied about that. What's going on in modern times. Even in the Old Testament, the ancient prophets. Yes, indeed. Because you got that orange baboon in the office. That orange baboon, man, he hell bent on bombing the hell out of Iran. He just want to bomb the hell out of everything in the Middle East. Yep. But yeah, have you heard about those scientists went missing? No, I never heard about them. That's crazy. We got scientists going missing. That's crazy. We got missing scientists. Huh? They must have leaked something for them to go missing. They probably took them out. They probably was trying to reveal something that the powers that be don't want people to know. The Father took care of the sparrow. That's right. Yeah, the Most High. If He gonna take care of the birds, so something simple like a sparrow, He'll take care of His people. Yes, indeed. 10 scientists. Wow, 10 scientists went missing. Yeah, they must have was doing something that the higher ups don't approve of for them to go missing. And keyword missing. We ain't gonna hear from them again. Keyword missing. Went missing. They ain't missing. They got taken out. They got snuffed out. They got their snot boxes rocked. Their TV turned off. In the words of Hassan Campbell, they got their TVs turned off. The powers that be. Yeah, exactly. They got their TVs turned off. Got their subscription canceled. That's the one I came with. Yeah, the elite, they canceled their subscription. I remember I told that to somebody. I was joking about that at my job, my old job that I used to work at. I had that dude laughing. That brother started, he's like, man, that was crazy. I said, you gonna cancel their subscription? Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I heard that, Sean. I never watched it yet. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Why they going some missing scientists? Yeah, they must have revealed something. Oh, they probably was some whistleblowers. Because usually that's what they do to whistleblowers. They take them out. They either gonna put them in jail or as a political prison, or they gonna just outright take them out. In most cases, they outright take them out. Take them off the face of the map. Take out their family too. They don't care. Because they figure you're going against the status quo, you know. But yeah, I don't know what's going to replace YouTube. I thought something was going to replace YouTube. Like, it seems like, I know they got Rumble, they got Kick, but most people don't want to let go of the YouTube bottle, man. They don't want to migrate to Kick or Rumble, you know. And it's the same way like that with Facebook. Most people still gonna gravitate towards Facebook when it comes to, like, you know, social media, Facebook and Instagram. Because Facebook and Instagram is the same thing. They ran by Meta. It's part of Meta. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Missing scientists. Like I said, we not even in summer yet. Just wait till summer get here. It's gonna be more crazy stuff going on in the summer. You know, you had the spring break, like that was last month. That was everybody talking about the Houston rodeo, the spring break. How everybody getting STDs in Houston, man. Man, they spreading the news about the STD crisis in Houston and making them want to date nobody in Houston. Say if you go want to date somebody in Houston, you might be, you know, I'll tell it to anybody, man, all women, man. If you're going to Houston, man, be careful who you're dating out there. They might got an STD, especially if how they was acting at that Houston rodeo, disrespecting Houston like that, disrespecting a great city of Houston in a great state like Texas, because Texas is a beautiful state. I've been to San Antonio, I've been to Houston way back then, but I've been to Galveston. I liked it, Galveston. Galveston was the beach, is like a beach city. Galveston is cool. I've been to San Antonio. Yeah, Texas is a beautiful state. And for that buffoonery to be going on at that Houston rodeo, that's supposed to be a family event. You know, you had some of the women dressing like 304s. You had the dudes wilding out, fighting and stuff like some savage animals, man. I'd be like, man, our ancestors didn't die for that shit. Our ancestors didn't die for that shit, for you to go to a Houston rodeo dressing half naked or getting turned up and drunk and fighting like some damn savages. Let alone our Messiah never died for that, man. Yeshua HaMashiach, the black Messiah. Not no Sejuel Borgia, the real Messiah. Shit, even if I lived in Houston, I won't go right there because I'm at the edge, man. I don't even like I don't even go to clubs. I don't go out. If I'm going out, I know where I'm going. I'm coming back at a certain time. And I'm a grown ass man. I always had that mentality. Even when I was in my 20s, I didn't try to stay out too late. I try not to stay out too late. Cause like when I was living with my parents, my curfew was 2 o'clock in the morning. My parents gave me a curfew. And I respected that curfew. They said the latest I could come in is at 2 in the morning. And I ain't even coming that late. The latest I try to come in is by maybe 12, 1. But most cases I'll be home. I'll be home before midnight. Cause like the old saying goes, ain't nothing good out there after midnight. It's nothing but trouble. And then plus now that I'm in the know, now that I know like around 3 to 5 is the witching hour, that's when the veil is thin. I won't even dare drive at 3 in the morning because the veil is thin. And then I'm in Louisiana. Louisiana's a portal, man. That's when the supernatural energy, is turned up. Hope I'm not scaring you, Sean, but the unseen world is real, bro. Hope I ain't scaring anybody, but yeah, Louisiana is a portal, man. New Orleans, bro. You go out there on them streets hanging out, clubbing at New York in the wee hours of the night in New Orleans, man, you might be talking to a supernatural being. You might be, you see this beautiful sister in New Orleans thinking she fine as wine. That heifer could be a damn vampire or werewolf or witch, a straight up witch, put a damn spell on you, having you walking on all fours, making goat noises like a sheep, have you walking on all fours in your underwears, sounding like a sheep. Bah, bah, bah. She think it's funny, man. It's real out here. It's freaking real out here. Leave your ass in the bayou, man. Sacrifice you to the Rougarou, Hey, man, I'm getting chills just talking about this shit. But yeah, man, I try to be home for a certain time, and I'm a grown ass man. Real talk, you gotta have a curfew. Ain't nothing wrong having a curfew. A curfew saved lives. A curfew saved your ass from going to jail. So shout out to parents that enforce their children to have a curfew. It's for your own good. Oh yeah, curfew saved lives. But Gen Z, a lot of Gen Z, they don't give a shit about a curfew. They be like, I'm gonna get turned up. I'm gonna get lit. I ain't coming in till 6 in the morning. So you just gotta let some of them learn the hard way. I go outside, turn around, sit down in the house. Exactly. The freaks come out at night. They was telling you that in the music. They wasn't lying. The freaks come out at night. And that means, yeah, the creatures of the night too. Oh yeah, that's what it really meant, Oh yeah, they couldn't say creatures of the night, so they just had to say the freaks come out at night. They know what they was talking about because they probably, like, the people that made that song, they probably experienced that. They probably was out and about clubbing. They probably was about to get it in with this woman, and she did some supernatural shit, and that tripped the dude out, and he made a song about the shit. I'm just saying, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. And it's not Louisiana, LA, Arizona, Texas. Texas is a supernatural portal too. San Antonio, Houston. Like all the vampire werewolf movies, if you ever noticed, and I talked about this before on my previous streams. Like all the vampire movies, werewolf movies, it take place in Los Angeles, New York, parts of Louisiana, parts of Texas, Arizona, because that's portals. And Las Vegas too. Las Vegas is a portal, And according to the Black Cauldron, that's a content creator. She a sister. I think she a witch. I think she practiced witchcraft, but she be talking about supernatural stuff. She said Las Vegas is way more creepier than New Orleans. Las Vegas. I said, yeah, of course. It has to be, because think about it. Las Vegas was built on Native American land. Then plus the mafia had their hand in Las Vegas, and they got so many unmarked graves in deserts that the mafia pit them bodies there. The mafia do when they do their business. Yeah. So Las Vegas, and they say like the majority of the hotels in Las Vegas are haunted, allegedly. Houston is definitely a port, especially with all the illegal immigrants out there. Oh yeah, bro. And you gotta also realize, like, a lot of the drug cartels, they some of them be brujas or brujos, which is witch. I think of which is witch was in Spanish, brujo. meaning it's a warlock, and bruja is a witch, and that's what it means in Spanish. And a lot of brujos and brujas, man, they ran over, they take care of the supernatural aspect of the cartels and stuff. You know, they do rituals, you know, to make sure their cartels be successful and all that. You know, because if they showed that on they showed that on one of the episodes of the Breaking Bad. I don't know if you ever watched that series Breaking Bad. They had one episode, these brothers, they was like cartel, and they carried them axes with them, and they show them doing a ritual. They was crawling on all fours, like they was leading a whole line of people. They was all crawling on all fours in that village, and they made it to this shrine, and it was that was a shrine to Santa Muerta. You know, that's mostly like a demonic version. It's like a Grim Reaper version of the Virgin Mary. That's who they pray to, Santa Muerta, something like that. You know, I might be butchering it, but y'all know who I'm talking about. You're talking about the medicine man, all that. No, the medicine man and lady, they legit. Most of them legit now. And Navajo culture, they do have some medicine men and medicine women. They turn to the dark side. But I'm not a Navajo, so I could say the word, because if I had a Navajo sitting next to me, he'll probably slap the shit out of me for saying the S word. But I'm gonna say it because it's taboo for him to say the S word. And I'm not talking about the cuss word. I'm talking about a word, the S word, that's way worse than a cuss word, shit, a word that's way worse than that word in Navajo culture. Yeah, now some medicine men and medicine women, they turn to the dark side and dark arts, and they become a creature known as a skinwalker, a dreadful creature known as a skinwalker. But yeah, most medicine men and medicine woman, they had herbs. They used to use herbs to heal people. They was legit, but like the ones that turn to the darkness, you know, they do these ungodly rituals and become a creature known as a skinwalker that terrorize the tribe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Houston is a portal. Yeah, Houston is a wicked city. You know, it's a nice city to go visit. You could do a lot of things in Houston, but it got that supernatural energy to it. It's a portal. You know, it's a portal. You know, Las Vegas, Arizona, especially Arizona, because Arizona, that's nothing but desert. Yep, Arizona. You know, and these national parks, like these national parks, they ain't safe either. They portals too. A lot of people go missing in these national parks every year. Haint, yeah, I know what you're talking about. A haint, yeah. H Haint. Haint. Yup, yeah. Haint. That's what they call a haint. Is like an unclean spirit, like a ghost or a werewolf. Yeah, that's what the Geechee and the Gullah people call them, haints. Cause I don't know if you watched the movie Sinners. You seen the movie Sinners before, you Quabba? That was a good movie. And like his wife was like, when she saw the vampire, she's like, that's he a haint, a vampire. She recognized him. She recognized them vampires immediately. You know. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they call them, haints. Not a hank, a haint. Like saints, you know, like the word saint, but just drop the S and replace the S with an H. Haint. That's what they call them. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's what they call them, a haint. And then you got like they got the boo hag. You know, they got like according to the Geechee and Gullah, they got this witch called a boo hag, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, just like down here in Louisiana, we got our myth and folklore. To be honest, I don't really like the word mythology, you know, or myth. I just like I rather the word folklore, which means wisdom, like passed on wisdom, you know, because all these so-called myths, a lot of these myth and mythical beings have some truth to it, man, you know, have some truth. So I rather use the word folklore, you know, ancient, because when you think about the word folklore, it's wisdom being passed on to the next generation. Beware of this out here. Beware of this. You know, you don't want to go this place. You don't want to go there. It's dangerous. Think about the movie Lion King when Mufasa told Simba, everything that the light touches is our kingdom. That was a deep meaning. That was deep. And y'all remember when Simba asked about that dark and shadowy place? You could have felt the darkness, man. That elephant graveyard was creeping, man. You know, I think that scene in Lion King probably scared some children when they was singing in the elephant graveyard. Cause Scar looked at evil, bro. Them hyenas, man. When you think of hyenas, them hyenas be laughing like demons. Even in real life, when you hear a hyena pack laugh, they sound demonic. You know? Oh yeah. Just like coyotes, man. Them coyotes be sounding demonic when they be hollering and making noise. Yep, they found over 30 bodies in the Buffalo Bayou Park in Houston. Shaking my head. Yeah, man, that's messed up. And you know that was ritual killings, bro. Some of that was ritual killings. Cause you got these cults out here, Sean, you know, like in these national parks. See, like secluded areas, you got these satanic cults. They kidnap and abduct people and they do their sacrificial, ungodly rituals, and they dump the bodies in the bayous or bury them in shallow graves and stuff. Yeah, man, it's crazy stuff out there. It's a lot of sick and wicked ass people out there, man. The Most High gonna deal with all of that though, because they can't escape the judgment. They can't escape the judgment. Let's see, it got no feet or face. I saw one and told them people to stay in the room. They didn't listen and got hit by semi trucks. They died. What? What's it? Elaborate on that, your car. What you talking about? A haint? You seen a haint? You saw your legend. You say you seen a creature, and you warned the people and they didn't believe you. Yeah, elaborate on that, bro. You saw a haint. Yeah, because Florida too. I forgot to mention Florida. Yeah, Florida is a portal too. Yeah, definitely a portal. Florida. When you see one, stay home and pray. They walk fast, but look like they barely moving. They have no face and no feet. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you saw unclean. Yeah, a spirit of hate. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta pray. That's your weapon. You gotta pray and rebuke it in the name of Yeshua or Jesus. You know, you gotta rebuke them. It was around 2013. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's just like down there in Florida, they got their version of a Bigfoot called a skunk ape. You know, oh yeah, it's like Bigfoot and Sasquatch, man. Every state got them. They all over the world. You know, you got cryptids. Cryptids are real. You know, you got people talking about getting abducted by aliens and all that. You know, Area 51. Come on now, they hiding something in Area 51 because you can't just go barging up in Area 51. You gonna get executed. They gonna shoot you on the spot. They gonna shoot you on the spot if you go up in Area 51. So they hiding something. They got to be having something up in there that they don't want people to know about or see. Because you can't just go knocking on Area 51. Can I see what y'all got up in there? Man, they gonna shoot you on the spot. Facts. My last living grandma passed away December, brother. My condolences, man. You have my condolences because I lost both of my grandmothers too. Both of my grandmothers gone too, bro. So you have my condolences. You know, I know you probably took that hard because, man, once the grandma's gone, man, that's the pillars of the family. Because that's how it was. Like when my grandmother passed away on my mama's side, man, all my uncles and aunts, it just seems like the family gatherings ain't like it used to be no more. You know, and that's why. And you know what's sad about that? They don't have moms like that no more. Because the grandmothers today, man, they getting younger and they don't have no wisdom. Like see, when we was growing, most of us millennials, man, our grandmothers, they was elderly age, they was middle, like when we was children, they probably could have been middle age, approaching 50, but they still had wisdom. And they had that no nonsense attitude. They corrected our asses. When we got out of line, they slapped, they put that boot to us, they put that strap to us, that belt, that comb. Oh yeah, I never forget my great grandmother on my daddy's side. We called her mommy. She was blind in one eye, but she had them lightning cat reflexes. When I cut up, she played it off smart. I kept getting out of line. I'm thinking everything good and dandy. I'm walking past, because she always used to sit in this chair in the living room. I'm just walking, and next thing you know, man, I'm getting snatched up with the quickness. You remember what you? She used to snatch me up quickly and start whipping me with a comb all belt, lightning fast like a ninja. I'm telling you, she had them quick reflexes. Every time I got out of line, man, I'm thinking she forgetting about what I'm doing, man. Come here, boy. Come here. Man, straighten me up quick. They don't have grandmothers like that no more. Yep. I've been shedding tears. I still feel the pain. I talked to her the night before she passed away. She was born in 1931. Okay. Yeah, like I said, man. Yeah, you have my condolences, brother, because like I said, I lost my grandmother on my daddy's side in 2017. And I lost my grandmother on my mama's side in 2019. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's tough for the family, man, It's tough. Because like I say, man, the grandmothers and grandpas today, man, they ignorant. They getting younger, man. They getting younger. Like you got some grandparents in the late 30s, early 40s, man. I think somebody should be a grandparent in their 50s, but the way society is, man, you still got the epidemic of children having children, man. You got a lot of young men that irresponsible. They thinking with the little head instead of the head above the shoulders. They thinking with the head, below. And you got some of these young ladies, they fast, man. Soon as the first young man tell them that they love them, man, they giving them the goods, and he's shooting the club up. And 9 months later, man, she bringing her life here, not even prepared, got a whole new life in this existence, unprepared, and he ain't even mature yet. None of them mature. He don't even have a job. He don't have his own place. He don't got nothing in his name. And now they brought a fresh new life in his existence. And it's just going to be a whole cycle of drama and generational curses. So she was born in 1931, and she lived a long life then. She lived a good life. Being born in 1931. So I know she's seen some things. She saw some things. But like I said, man, we don't have like the grandparents today, man. They like the grandparents we had growing up. For most of us, like I said, most of us millennials, our grandparents, they was middle age and all getting up there in age. It was like when we was children, they mostly was middle age. In their late 40s, early 50s, and when we became teenagers, they was approaching their 60s. Like I say, yeah, I thank Yahweh for my nearest kin and tribe. That's what's up. Yep. Praise Yahweh. May she rest in the bosom of Abraham and peacefulness and bliss. And most high willing, you will be seeing her in the kingdom. That's our hope. That's the great hope. Like Brother Jacob used to always say, there's hope in the resurrection. Brother Jacob, man, shout out to Brother Jacob, Mr. Hebrew 1. He used to always say that when he comforted Israelites, that's have a loved one that passed on or transition. I like saying transition. I don't like to say a person died or dead. I just say, like if somebody was to ask me about my own grandmothers or relative that passed on, I just say they transition. I like using that term, transition. Because what I like about the word transition, it just means I hope they transition to a better situation, a better life, a better, peacefulness, because this world is wicked, this world is wicked. I love my great grandma on my mama's side. Great granddad was born in 1908. His wife 1911. Okay. All right. So his wife, so your great granddad wife was a few years older than him. Okay, that's what's up. And you see, man, that was real love back then. They stuck together. They stuck together back then. They stuck together, built strong bonds. And that's what we lost. That's what our people lost at in modern times. So-called black people. It's like we don't want to see the next black person do well in life, and it's an illness amongst our people. It's an illness. That crab in the barrel mentality gotta go. It's 2026, and our people still got that mentality, that crab in the barrel mentality. It's not a good mentality to have. It's not. But it's still going on. You see it all over. See it, especially on social media. That's why you got to be careful not posting all your information or pictures on social media, especially on Facebook, because they have people that pray for your downfall, praying that they see you fall down. If you in a good marriage, they got people that's praying that your marriage fail. That's wicked. That's not of the Most High. That is not of the Most High. Whether it be these same people, whether they Christians or Israelites, saying, "Oh, shalom, brother," or if they're a Christian, they be like, "Praise the Lord, I'm blessed and highly favored." But they on Facebook, man, looking at their fellow church member, and they're in a good situation, they praying on their downfall and stuff. Same thing in the Hebrew community. You have these, "Oh, that's my ark. That's my ark. Man, that's my ark." But they see a picture of him and his wife. He plotting to trying to take that brother wife from him, trying to dirty man. That's some foul ass shit, bro. How the hell you want to say that's your brother in the faith, but you trying to sabotage that man's marriage? I'm just speaking in general, because there's a lot of shit going on like that. You had some of these elders in Israel, man, committing adultery with other brothers' wives and shit, man. And you wonder why y'all just giving the Christians and other religions ammunition to trying to debunk the Israelite movement. Like buffoons like Vocab Malone. I think he'll interested playing, by the way. Vocab Malone, yeah, he'll interested playing, And then you have some former Israelites join the ranks of Vocab Malone. Like they had one brother, he was a former member of IUIC, and he joined the ranks of Vocab Malone, trying to expose IUIC. Yeah, we know IUIC in the camps, some of the doctrine could be flawed, and some of the doctrine I don't agree with, but they have a purpose. They serving a purpose. They still got a purpose to serve, And I'm not going to knock the work they doing, because, they have a purpose. That's their purpose, Even though some of the doctrine I may not agree, like that 12 tribe chart, I don't agree with that 12 tribe chart. That 12 tribe chart, man, been debunked so many times, it's not even funny no more. It been debunked so many times, But yeah, what I want to say, but yeah, they have their purpose, but it's just it's just weird out there. Okay, 97 and 2004. Exactly. Yeah. Straightway known for that. Yeah, that Pastor Dow, man, because like the married men, they gotta get permission to be with their wives at Straightway. That's some weird ass shit. I'm a grown ass man. I'll be damned if I'm at Straightway and I gotta ask Pastor Dow to bed my wife. I'll be like, nigga, you better, man, I'm off this land. That's why I say anybody that's still in Straightway, that's a cult. Now I know they want to say the Israelites movement is a cult. It's not a cult, it's an awakening. Now, Straightway is a cult. Yeah, Straightway is a cult. But the Israelite awakening as a whole, no, that's an awakening. It's not a religion. It's an awakening of a lost people that been lied to for over many years, hundreds of years, decades, thousands of years. But yeah. Yeah, straightway is definitely a cult. Yeah, because like the men that work jobs, they got to give like a percentage of their check to Pastor Dollar. Man, I would never go to Straightway. I don't even want to go visit Straightway. You know, look how he did Pastor Rufus, man. I never thought I'd see that happen, man. That's why I said, man, like it seems like after the year 2020, man, everything just went to shit, man. Relationships between people, you know, friendships, brotherhoods, sisterhoods, everything just went to shit. You know, after 2020, man, it's like the world is in purgatory. It's like society had died post 2020, and now we've been in purgatory. We're in 2026. It's like we've been in purgatory for the last 6 years. You know, but yeah, it's crazy though. I would never thought I'd see Pastor Dow do that to Pastor Rufus, because Pastor Rufus was like the right hand man of Pastor Dow. He was the right hand man. That shit went down. I want to say in 2024, I think, when all that went down. I mean, 2024 was a crazy ass year in Israel, man. You had the falling out between Pastor Dow and Pastor Rufus, the falling out between Ringo and New Breed. And fast forward to 2026, now Ringo falling out with Brainwave. It's crazy, bro. That's why I say, man, this social media stuff is just wow, bro. You know, you can't really take it serious because you just gotta take it on the chin and just keep on moving. Stay in your lane. That's the best thing to do, you know. You notice people trying to make people deny the word and all this stuff going on. Exactly. Yeah, they're trying to silence people that want to bring forth the word. Exactly. But the word prophesies, man, all this was going to be going on. Rumors of war, you know, nation against nation. You know, parents turning against the children going against the parents. Yep. You know, it's been a while since I read my Bible. I'm going to just be real with you. You know, I'm honest. But if I start reading it, it'll come back to me full circle, because that's one thing is always in my spirit, you know. And I thank the Most High for that, you know. Like I said, it'll click back in, because that's one thing. That's the beautiful thing about the word of the Most High. You could put the word down for a period of time, but when you get back in it, it'll start clicking with your spirit, man. That's the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, man. There ain't nothing but the Holy Spirit working. I'm telling you, you know, it'll click back in. Especially, you know, if you admit your faults to the Most High, your sin, you know, because none of us perfect, man. You know, I'm not a perfect Israelite. I'm not a perfect man in general, you know. None of us are. I'm flawed. I got filthy rags, you know. People let me down, and I'll probably let people down in life before, because that's just human nature. You're going to let people down, and just like people going to let you down, you're going to let people down too. That's just the way of life, man. That's human nature. You just got to deal with it and take it on the chin. You know, you learn from it, you grow, you know, you keep moving forward. And you wish the best for others. You know, even the ones that do you wrong, you wish the best for them too. You know, because last time I checked, you can't enter Yah's kingdom with a heart full of hate. Last time I checked, that's not gonna fly. But most people, man, that's what they push, negativity on his platform. You know, I don't get people that get into these YouTube beefs and these social media beefs. That's stressful. I know that's causing people to be stressed out, getting great before their time. If I was able to get the grants and loans, the people get it, wouldn't be no homeless people around me. I hear you, bro. Yeah, if you had the money, yeah, like, oh yeah, if you had the resources and money, there won't be no homeless people around you. I hear that, bro. And that's the sad thing, bro. These filthy rich people, like these trillionaires, billionaires, they got so much wealth, they could clear up Skid Row if they want to. I'm talking about the monopoly families. Y'all know what I mean by the monopoly families, the so-called elites. I'm gonna call them the monopoly families. The monopoly families, man, they got so much wealth, they could clear out Skid Row And all them people that live on Skid Row, they could clear that out, put them in homes, and make Skid Row be like a city or something, like a little mini city. Clear all that filth from Skid Row, clean them people up, put them in homes. Now, I'll let you, we know some of them, they ain't gonna want to kick their habits, because they've been on them drugs for many years, but they could kick their habit if they want to. They gotta want to kick their habit. It's willpower. But yeah, they know they could do that, but they don't want to do it because they like how the status quo is. They want the status quo to keep going. Because they making a profit off of the suffering of them people that's homeless. Yep, the rich man and Lazarus. Yeah. That rich man was begging not to, he was begging Lazarus for that water. Like, Lazarus, can you, for one drop, not a glass of water. He was so desperate for a drop of water. Yeah, but he did Lazarus wrong. When Lazarus was alive, he kept walking past Lazarus, didn't help that man out. The rich man just kept walking, looking down on Lazarus, just keep walking past him. He was full of sores and filth. And he even helped Lazarus out. But when Lazarus passed away and went to the good side, he went to the good side of the afterlife, Abraham's bosom. And the rich man, he went to the left-hand side, the torment, the hellish realm, like infernal realm, almost like an infernal state in the spirit realm. He went to a lower dimension. Because that's all the infernal realms really is. It's like lower dimensions, and heaven is considered higher dimension according to like the people that's into spirituality and new age and all that, Yeah. So he went to the lower realms. He went to the infernal realm, the rich man, left hand side, and Lazarus went to the right hand side. He went like to a peaceful area, Now some people, they believe in that. They believe in Abraham's bosom, and some people just look at it as a parable, because you have different interpretations of it. Some people believe, you're just gonna rest till judgment day in your grave, and some people believe like Abraham's bosom is like a holding area till the judgment, and like how they got the torment side, to each his own. And like I said, I ain't gonna kick back against people beliefs, because everybody have certain ways they interpret the scriptures, especially in Israel. That's why Israel can't come together now, because they got so many Israelites that interpret the scriptures differently. It's like that in the Christian church too, because you got 20,000 denominations of Christianity. You got the Calvinists, you got the Seventh-day Adventists, you got the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's all under the same umbrella of the Catholic Church. Whether if they on drugs or not, at least they will have a nice place to stay. Not being the mosquitoes they had in Florida. Oh yeah, I know y'all got the mosquitoes out there in Florida. Shit, the mosquitoes don't play out there in Florida. We deal with them out here in Louisiana, but it's a whole different animal in Florida. Same thing with the alligators. Like I was talking about the gators before. The Florida alligators is way more aggressive than the Louisiana alligators. Real talk, because them alligators in Florida, they bigger, they more meaner, they mean. They don't give a damn. They'll go in somebody's pool in the backyard and make themselves at home. See, the alligators out here in Louisiana, they laid back. As they chill. They mind their business. Just leave them alone. They ain't gonna attack you. Just stay out their way. Respect their distance and territory. They more chill. But them alligators in Florida, they don't give a damn, man. They go in neighborhoods. They'll go walk in a damn neighborhood, man, like it's nothing. And make themselves at home. Oh yeah, them Florida gators, they on a whole different level compared to Louisiana alligators. I didn't realize it was 1 minute after 10 already. Boy, that time going by fast. I'm gonna be on for a few more minutes, and I'm gonna wrap this up because I got work tomorrow. I gotta work the next 2 days, and I'll be off the weekend. All praise to the Most High. See, that's what I love about my new job. You know, we'll be off every other weekend. We get that 3-day weekend. That's a blessing. So I thank the Most High for my new job. You know, because the job, my former job, man, I had to endure so much at my old job. I had to endure so much BS and torment, mentally torment, you know, and spiritual torment. You know, and a lot of people are dealing with that now with these soul crushing jobs. You know, that's why a lot of people really don't want to work no more, because they don't want to deal. It's like when you've been at a certain job for a long period of time, it does something to your mental health and spiritual health. Oh yeah. So it wasn't nothing but the Most High that freed me from that captivity. All praises. You know, just like how the ancient Israelites was crying to be free from Egyptian captivity. You know, he raised up Moses, you know, and Aaron, and led the Israelites out of captivity in Egypt. And the crazy part about it, he did all these wonderful miracles, the Most High. He did all these wonderful miracles, protected them in the wilderness, shielded them from danger. And Israel still rebelled. He still was ungrateful. That's the crazy part about it. He did all those wonderful, fantastical miracles. I mean, the pillar of fire, drowning the whole army of Pharaoh in the Red Sea, drowning the hell out of these Egyptians. And they witnessed that with their own 2 eyes. And they had to walk in that wilderness for 40 years because of their complaints. They made the Most High so upset, he had them in that wilderness for 40 years for a journey that would have took them a few days, probably a week. It would have took them like, a couple of days to get from Egypt to the promised land. That whole journey would have took them a few days, probably at least a week. And they had to wander their wilderness for 40 years because they was ungrateful, griping, complaining, getting on Moses' nerve. Ultimately getting on the Most High. It got so bad, Moses had to stop the Most High from wiping out Israel. It got that bad. Yeah, the Most High wanted to wipe out Israel and started all over with Moses' lineage. He told Moses, I'm sick of these people. I'm going to wipe them out. Moses had to plead with the Most High not to wipe out Israel. He was going to wipe out Israel and started with Moses. Just imagine that. Just imagine if you'd have went with that plan. It wouldn't have been no Israelites. It would have been Moselites or something. Moshelites or something. It would have just been Levites. It would have been the 12 tribes of Moses instead of the 12 tribes of Israel. Or who knows, he probably would have renamed Moses something different. I'm just saying. Probably would have renamed him to Moshiah. We'd have been a Moshaianites. Instead of Israelites, we'd have been a Moshaianites. You know. And maybe that's the story in the ultimate dimension. Not, I'm just all over the place. But anyway, yeah, just think about that. He was going to wipe out Israel. Moses had to, and I know it took balls to do that. It took balls. You talking to the creator, your creator, he had the power to wipe you out. And you going to plead with the creator? Yeah, Moses had balls, bro. He had balls. It take balls to do something like that. You talking to an angry God that's about to wipe out your whole people. And you're going to say, no. Remember the covenant you made with the forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I know Moses, he was nervous. I know he was nervous. I know Moses was nervous. He probably was pleading. I would have been nervous. Hey, I would have been nervous. Shucks. So I know he was nervous when he pleaded with the Most High not to wipe out Israel. They was out there having orgies while Masha was on the mountain. Yeah, when Moses was on the mountain getting the instructions, they was doing all kind of freaky stuff. They was having a freak off. Like I said, that's why I love the book of Ecclesiastes. You know, the book of Ecclesiastes, because it explains to you that nothing is new under the sun. So y'all thinking these freak offs and freakiness is something new. Man, the ancient Israelites, the ancient wicked Israelites, they was doing all that when they built up the golden calf. They was having orgies. They was having a freak off. And when Moses came down, he got pissed off. He threw down the tablets. He was so angry, he threw down the tablets. He threw down the tablets and he gathered up the Levites, and he told the Levites to go out there and slaughter the wicked Israelites. He said, who want to stand on the Most High side? Those that stood with it, the Most High, they were spared. And the Levites, man, they went to work. They went handle business. They went handle the Most High's business, man. They went carry out that judgment. Man, it was brutal. And that's why I think a lot of Christians try to avoid the Old Testament. They want to, because Christians, I'm going to be real. Christians, they're afraid of the Old Testament. They scared of the Old Testament. They fear the Old Testament. They do. You know what's crazy about Christians? They fear the Old Testament and the book of Revelation. They always want to say, oh, stick to the New Testament. But they avoid they avoid Revelations. They avoid the book of Revelation. They always were scared of the book of Revelation because they pastor put that fear in them. Pastor Pochop put that fear in them. You know? Yep, remember the Israelite that was swirling? Oh, yeah, the Israelite that wanted to had that non-Israelite woman? Yeah. You know, I forgot the Israelite name, but they had the brother took that spear. He thrust the spear through both of them. You know, and to some of these liberals, to some of these modern day liberals, they look at that as barbaric. They say, man, that's not the love of God. God is love. God ain't like that. Man, they don't know the Most High. They don't know the real. They don't know. You see, they thinking that Christian God. They believe in that pansy Christian God. They believe in Cesare Borgia, that sissy. Just Cesare Borgia. They don't believe in the real Jesus or the real Most High. Yeah, you know, they don't believe in that. They believe what the man told them. They believe in what the man told them. Y'all know what I mean about the man. Because, you know, you say certain things on this platform, they want to shadow ban you and shit. Yep. Oh, yeah, they scared of the Old Testament, though. That's why they say it's done away with, which is false. They say the law is done away with. No, the only law that was done away with was the sacrificial law. That was the only law that was nailed to the cross. You know, the sacrificial law. We don't have to sacrifice animals no more. All praise, because I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could stomach that man slaughtering an innocent animal, because I like animals. You know, I like animals. I couldn't slaughter no innocent animal for my buffoonery, my sins. So all praises to the Most High for sending Yahshua, you know, to make that ultimate sacrifice. So we don't have to do that bloodshed no more to his precious creatures, the animals. Yep. Yeah, man, you see a lot of people think all that is done away with. That's why the world is in shambles now, because if you ever notice, like a lot of black people, they turn away from the Most High. They becoming atheists. You don't got strong black families no more. It's like the black community it's like everybody on their own island in the so-called black community. And it's like that in society as a whole. It's just not with our community. It's like that in all communities these days. Ever since social media just been up there, it's like everybody on their own island now. You don't got no strong sense of communities no more. You go out in public, man, people got their head buried in their phones. Nobody want to communicate no more. If you say hi to somebody, they get offended. They might get standoffish. You just want to say good morning or good evening or hi. They look at you like you got 3 eyes or 2 heads. It's just weird out there, man. It's weird, man. Like I say, the world is going to shit, bro. It's going to shit. Yeah. It's going to shit. So all we could do is just endure to the end. Yep. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this live stream up because I got work tomorrow. If I didn't have to go to work tomorrow, I'll probably be on here for another 2 hours. I ain't going to lie. I should have went live early, but I was lazy today. I was resting today. You know, I was just in a funk today. I was just drained. Even though I did a gaming stream earlier this morning. I played Elder Scrolls Online on PS5. And after that, I just rested today. All I did was rest. I was just a lazy buffoon. Well, I deserve to be lazy because I work 12-hour shifts. I bust my ass at my job, you know. Exactly. It's sad, man. Brothers and sisters don't like each other. I mean, how it got to this? How it got to black men and black women treating each other like they're a separate race? This is some Twilight Zone shit. I mean, don't realize that's what the powers that be want. I mean, you got channels throwing brothers under the bus. You got channels throwing sisters under the bus. I mean, you know, just like with the incident with Ashley Janae, you know, and I'm gonna stand on what I said, rest in preference. You know, she thought she had the life she wanted. She thought she was about to get that soft girl life, whatever they call that shit. And a lot of these divestors, man, they anti-black family, they anti-black men. They pro-black man of our nation. They my enemies. That's not my sisters. These divestors, I don't see them as sisters. I see them as enemies because they promoting the annihilation of the sons of Jacob. If you promoting the annihilation of the sons of Jacob, you got the spirit of Pharaoh. You are descendant of King Herod. You know, you got that King Herod energy. You got that pharaonic energy or Pharaoh or pharaonic, if that's a word, pharaonic. It's a word now, pharaonic energy. You know, you can't be around me and I don't want to be around you because you promoting the annihilation of the sons of Jacob. You know, you're an enemy to the Most High. You see a lot of these divestors, and that goes for the male divestors too. That's anti-black woman. Y'all enemies of the Most High. Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna call it down the middle. I'm gonna be balanced about it, because you know you got these anti-black woman brothers out there. Y'all enemies of the Most High, man. Y'all promoting the annihilation of the daughters of Zion. Woe unto y'all, man. Woe unto y'all. You know, for that, y'all want to promote the annihilation of the daughters of Zion. Woe unto y'all. You know, thinking y'all, because the grass is not greener on the other side, like the old saying goes. The grass is not greener on the other side. It was never meant to be, because the Most High laid it down in the instructions that Israel's supposed to be with Israel and the other nations supposed to be with their counterparts. You know, the Most High, yes, the Most High created all nations, he created all the nationalities and shit. But he set it up for, he gave each nationality their counterpart, which was a woman. They all got their, just like in the animal kingdom, you got the male lion, you got the lioness, you got the tiger, you got the tigress, you got the bull, you got the cow, you know, you got the male fox, you got the vixen, which is a female fox, you know, you got the dog, you got the bitch, what's the female dog. That's what these, you gotta be a twisted to come up, call that to a female dog. That was none but a white man came up with that shit. Gonna call a female dog a bitch, man. Just say a female. I'll tell you, bro. This English language is twisted, bro. This is a wicked ass language. English. I'm telling you, bro, the English language is a wicked ass language, bro. Real talk. You know, but yeah. But no. You got a lot of our people, they stiff neck, man. They figure the grass is green on the other side. They figure, you know, I'm giving up on brothers. I'm giving up on sis. I'm going to just go deal with another nation. Don't realize you're going to be walking on eggshells for life. Because all these interracial relationship channels on YouTube, they're annoying as hell. They annoy me. And they fake. It's all fake. You know, most of it be fake. And they go through more turmoil than a regular black on black love relationship. They go through more shit because they got to walk on eggshells. That's what they don't tell people about these interracial relationships. They got to walk on eggshells most of the time, especially when it comes to certain racial issues and religion and political ideologies. You see, that's the truth they don't want to tell people. They just want to make it look like it's a Disney movie. Man, people need to wake the fuck up, man. Life ain't no Disney movie. This ain't no fairy tale. You know, even in the fantasy novels, even in Dungeons and Dragons, man, they got bullshit they got to deal with. They got darkness. They got even elves. Elves, like, because like, that's one of my favorite fantasy races. Elves, man, the elven people. Yeah, they represent perfection, but they still got to deal with shit too. They got flaws. They not perfect. Elves not perfect. Dwarves not perfect. Humans not perfect. Orcs not perfect. No damn species, all beings in the universe perfect. The only perfect being in the universe, multiverse, whatever, is the Most High, the creator, the divine creator. The divine creator. And the only man that was found without sin was his son, Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world calls Jesus Christ. And that's facts. That's big facts. I'm listening. I'm going to be on the iPad. I can't type. I'm listening. You got your iPad, brother? That's what I want to get me a new Samsung tablet. Y'all would, I'm going to get me a new Samsung tablet. Even though I got my Amazon tablet, I want to get me a Samsung Ultra tablet, you know, because I like Samsung, man. I'm a Samsung. I'm team Samsung. When it comes to phones, I'm team Samsung. When it comes to tablets, I'm team Samsung. But like I said the other day on one of my streams, matter of fact, I got a Samsung TV. You know, I was explaining about that the other day. Like the only Apple product I ever owned in my life so far was an iPad. No, iPod. Excuse me. iPod. Not iPad, iPod. I'm tripping. But yeah. But iPads is cool too, you know. But it's like I'd rather Samsung when it comes to like we know Most High when cause I gotta take care of a few things. I gotta get some things in order, you know. around here, but like one step at a time. That's why I love, you know, that I was blessed with this new job, man, you know, because it's going, y'all willing, it's gonna elevate me to better things, in life. Y'all willing, I give it in this, I put it all in his hands, because my former job, man, I was miserable, it wasn't really, even though I could have get by, I was still struggling, I'm just being real. I'm being transparent. It was the struggle, but yeah, this is none but the Most High, because I was blessed with this new job. I ain't been there 90 days, and the Most High made a way and put it on the spirit of my supervisor, and they gave me a promotion already. I ain't been there 90 days and I got a promotion. So it ain't number the Most High. I was shocked. Like I said, when the team lead gave me that paperwork that I had to fill out and bring to HR, man, they ain't number the Most High. That was number the Most High. Cause I don't know too many people getting a promotion like that quick on a job, and you just been there for 2 months, barely been there 2 months. That was number the Most High. He made the way for that. Cause I wasn't expecting that. I was just working hard, minding my business, learning the job, learning how to deal with the troubleshoot the machines over there, how to run the lines and all that. And like I said, it's all glory to the Most High, because I couldn't do it without him. Real talk. I couldn't do it without him. So I give him all the praise. Yeah. Real talk. But yeah, enjoy your iPad, your quad. That's what's up. But yeah, I'm gonna get me a Samsung tab. Like, I ain't in a rush to get it. That's one thing about all these gadgets, bro. You don't have to always be in a rush to get it, because they always gonna be there. Because you got other things to handle first, especially bills. That's gonna always be priority. When it comes to financial stuff, you gotta always take care of them bills first. That's everybody. That's common sense. That's common sense. Yep. But yeah, man, it's sad to see what's going on social media between black men and black women. I don't like seeing this gender war bullshit. This shit been going on for like 10, 15 years, man. Probably, yeah. You had the Black Manosphere, they have all their drama and shit, and you got the divest sector, you got Cynthia G, she back on YouTube, man. I don't know why people give her energy, man. I don't know what's wrong with her. She gotta be a non-human entity, man, because something ain't right about that woman, man. Something ain't right about that woman, man. She really got that spirit of Pharaoh, because she the one came up with that, advocating for black women to abort black male babies. If the baby a male, aborted, man. That's the spirit of Pharaoh, man. That's the spirit of King Herod. If you read the Bible, that's what they did to the man. That was heartbreaking. I know only the Most High, and man, you could imagine hearing the wailing of the Israelite, the Hebrew woman, knowing that they losing their firstborn male sons to crocodiles, man. That must have scarred a lot of them Hebrew women back then. Seeing a newborn babies being tossed in the Nile River, being sacrificed to that abominable false god known as Sobek, that false abominable god Sobek. And I know it angered the Most High. That's why he had to do them 10 plagues. He hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he got them back good. And I'm telling you, ever since the Israelites left ancient Egypt never been the same. I mean, the Most High allowed these other nations to make a whore out of Egypt. And what I mean by that, because think about it, when the Persians came into power, when the Babylonians came into power, they all had their hand in Egypt. They all took over Egypt. The Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, man, they all had their hands in Egypt, man. They defiled Egypt like a $2 hole, all these beast nations. Like when you're reading the book of Daniel about the 4 beast nations, the 4 beast nations, when Daniel had the vision about the 4 beasts, the 4 beast kingdoms. Yeah, all those kingdoms, man, they had their hand in Egypt. Yep. That's how you know the Most High. Well, he really made Egypt feel the pain. Cause you gotta think he ain't forget what Egypt did to them firstborn Hebrew babies, just like he ain't gonna forget what went down in America when they used to feed our ancestors babies to alligators in slavery. Used to do all when they used to cut the sisters open while they were still pregnant, cut them open and stomp on an unborn baby. That was some demonic ass shit, man. You got to be a demonic ass person to do some shit like that. Cut a pregnant woman open and an unborn child fall out and you gonna stomp on her head. That's some demonic ass shit. You deserve to go to the deepest tortures of hell. Real talk. They deserve to go to the deepest parts of hell in the infernal realm. Real talk. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here for the night. I'm definitely gonna try to do some streams or content over the weekend, most high willing. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. I might try to get on this content train again. I don't know. I talk a lot of crap talking about, I ain't being no content creator no more. But if something hit me, and sometimes I like coming on here, to talk to y'all and talk to anybody, because it's therapeutic. Even if nobody here, it's there. That's why a lot of people come on here and do content. Even if they're not content creators, I know there's a lot of people, they just come to YouTube, make videos or do streams because it's therapeutic. Because we live in the world, man. A lot of us don't have nobody to talk to. We all isolated. A lot of us isolated. Even people that got somebody in their life, they still isolated. Even married people, they still feel isolated. That's crazy. You got a lot of married men and women, they still feel isolated. It's crazy out there. But yeah, it's good to see you, brother. Yaquawa, it's good to hear from you, man. Don't be a stranger now. Don't be a stranger. That goes for anybody. Don't be a stranger. Yep. But as for that troll that came up in here early, man, you ain't welcome back here. That damn troll. I put his ass in timeout. I'm sure he ain't coming back no more. I put him in timeout for 30 minutes. He want to come here with disrespect. Talking about, oh, you talking about people being fake, but you're deleting comments. I ain't deleting comments. YouTube, now I know YouTube knowing to delete comments. I found out Nebuchadnezzar was a Cushite. Yeah, the ancient Babylonians was melanated. Facts. Yeah, the Babylonians, they were melanated. The ancient Babylonians, oh yeah, they were melanated. Just like some people believe that the ancient Persians, they was melanated. They was brown skin. Because you see, they whitewash everything. When the Europeans came into power, they whitewashed all the ancient. Because once upon a time, all nations was melanated. All nations was melanated. But like that was the whole purpose of the Renaissance era, to whitewash everything. That's where all the whitewashing took place in the Renaissance era, because the word Renaissance means rebirth. That's what the word. That's the whole breakdown of the word Renaissance. It means rebirth. So, like during the Renaissance era, like the powers that be in Europe, they have all these artists, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. They painted over the black images of the prophets, the apostles, Christ, the angels. They whitewash everything. They even whitewash the devil. Because like I joke about this before, I say, man, God and Jesus is a black man. Satan is the first nigga. Satan was the first nigga. Real talk. Shit. He was the first nigga because he was scheming, plotting and scheming, trying to overthrow the Most High, cause the whole world, a whole war in heaven, in the celestial realm. Took a third of the whole host of the Most High, which is the angels, to rebel against the Most High. And I bet you some of them angels regret that shit too. They be like, man, we got duped. We ain't gonna never be able to go back to our home estate because we all follow this damn nigga Satan. I can see them angels, man, them fall. I know some regret that shit. I know some of the fallen angels, they probably was trying to beg to go back to heaven, but the Most High say, nope, you crossed the line. You crossed the line. You're gonna have to deal with the punishment now. You crossed that line. Yep, all the European powers copy his framework. Because look, like when you see the ancient description of the Persians, they beards. They got bushy beards. They kind of resemble, melanated people, the ancient Persians and Babylonians. They got them long beards, like them long bushy, like braided beards. Yep. Just like how they trying to whitewash the Egyptians. How y'all want to see the majority of the black race is Hamites, come from Ham? But in the movies, in Hollywood movies, y'all got the Egyptians, which come from the line of Ham. Y'all whitewashing, y'all making them look white. It's crazy. Now we know the modern day Egyptians we see today in modern times, they're not the real Egyptians. They're an admixture of all them nations that conquered Egypt. It's an admixture. There's a lot of Arabs out there, but you still got the true Egyptians around there. They're gonna be melanated. Just like you got the black Arabs out there. They don't show you that in the media though. They out there in Iran, Afghanistan, like in the Middle East. You're gonna find the black Arabs. They out there, but they're not gonna show that to you in the media because they want to show the fakeness. But we could talk about this another stream, man. We about to be at 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Appreciate y'all. And I'm gonna sign up and go get ready for bed. Like I say, I gotta get ready for this 12-hour shift tomorrow. You know, tomorrow and Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, because tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah, today is 2. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So I gotta work the next 2 days and I'll be off the next 3 days. Oh yeah. Be off Friday through Sunday. So I'll be at IF, but Friday I'll probably be taking care of some business Friday though. Yeah, I probably gotta take care of some business Friday. So maybe Friday night, Friday evening or Saturday evening, I'll probably go live on my main channel or gaming channel. Maybe my main channel, you know. I notice most people, they rather me go live on this channel because I have a gaming channel. Most only people that's into video games are gonna go there. That's how I know how YouTube work. That's how content work. You know, whatever type of audience you're gonna attract on a channel, that's the audience you focus on. And like most people that's gonna come to my gaming channel, they gamers themselves, or they into video games, or they just like to watch people games. Because I already know the majority of people that subscribe here, they not gonna come to my gaming channel because they probably not gamers themselves, you know, or they just look at it as a waste of time, you know. You know, and some of them judgmental. I'm just being transparent. Some people judgmental. They probably like, why the hell this grown ass man playing games? He claimed to be an Israelite, but he playing these games with all these creatures and wizards and warlocks and sorcerers and dragons and shit. That's part of who I am. I'm like I said, I'm not a religious person. I'm not gonna deny a part of my existence. That's part of who I am. You know, I like shit like that. You know, that's part of my makeup. You know, and I don't want to talk my metaphysical, deep spirituality shit because some Israelites, they gonna condemn me. I don't give a fuck. They could condemn me all they want. Shit. You know, certain things I was fascinated as a child, that probably goes back in my bloodline. You know, I think crazy sometimes. Shit. Who knows? My bloodline may go back to the Griffin. I don't know. You know, just like a confession, just like, you know, as a child, I always was fascinated with Anubis, man. The dog head god of Egypt, he always fascinated me. You know, I always was interested. I was like, man, that's a cool looking character. You know, and then I found out who he really was. I said, oh, that's the god of death, the god of he judged the afterlife. And when I think about black dogs, that's what black dogs represent, guardians of the grave. Like in most mythology, a dog represents a guardian of the graveyard or the afterlife. You know, like black dogs, and you know, that's why I say you got to be a dumbass to go trying to rob a graveyard, because you don't want to run into a church grim or a hellhound or grave guardian dog. Shit, on it jackasses go rob graveyards, and that's disrespect. Why you gonna disrespect the dead, man? Let the dead rest in peace. Shit. But yeah, I'm just rambling, you know. But yeah, I always was fascinated because, you know, I always was fascinated with mythology as a child, even Greek mythology, Egyptian, all mythology. And when I got into anime, that's what I learned about the Japanese mythology even more because of anime. You know, learn about the yokai, you know, the deities of the Shinto religion, like the anime Naruto. When you look at the anime Naruto from a spiritual perspective, all it really is Buddhism versus Shintoism. Because like Naruto bloodline goes back to Buddhism. And Sasuke, the Uchihas, their bloodline is the Shinto religion. Their bloodline go into the Shinto religion. They Shintos. You see the Uchiha clan and their ancestors and they Shinto. Their belief system is the Shinto belief. They tell on themselves with the attacks. Like Itachi, he got some of his abilities is named after the Shinto gods like Amarutsu, Tsukuyomi, Susanoo. Yeah. Izanagi and Izahime. Yeah, the Uchiha and Naruto bloodline goes back to Buddhism. The Shinju clan. Like the first Hokage, he had a attack that he had summoned his wooden Buddha statue with 1,000 arms when he fought Madara Uchiha. Yeah, that's what I got out of it. It's a good anime, but like Naruto Shippuden, when you really look into it as a spiritual, it's all it is like a ninja crusade. It's almost like a version of the Crusades. Instead of Christianity versus Islam, is Buddhism versus Shintoism. Yeah, I just want to put that out there for anybody that's into anime, because a lot of this anime got a lot of deep occult meanings to it. Just even Dragon Ball Z got a lot of occult messages in it. Yep. You got some Israelites saying the Dragon Balls represent the 7 seals. I don't agree with that. For real, you probably got some people out there saying the 7 Dragon Balls represent the 7 seals. It's like you got some people say the 7 Dragon Balls represent the 7 chakras and all that. All these spirituals. Just watch the anime and enjoy it, goddamn it. Shit. So, stop trying to be too deep. Ain't nothing wrong trying to break certain things down, but it's a thing being too deep, man. You're trying to be too deep, and that's take the enjoyment out of certain things. That's why I try to balance it. I try not to be too deep. I just try to be balanced, I just try to, sometimes you just gotta watch it at face value and just enjoy the damn show. And stop trying to, because you got people out there, man. Say if you're watching a movie, you're gonna have somebody trying to break everything down in the movie, every scene, every part, every dialogue. I'd be like, bro, just watch the goddamn movie, please. But I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Let me get off of here. Peace.